So it came out that allegedly the Miami Heat have shown interest in DeAngelo Russell. And the irony in this situation is about a week and a half ago on my NBA show, or our NBA show that I do with another YouTuber who's bigger, Will Upton, link in the description, I floated the idea. I'm like, hey, as a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, would we be willing to discuss, because Kyle Lowry, D'Angelo Russell make somewhat similar money. And over here, I mean, D'Angelo Russell has been playing phenomenal the last, for December. He's really turned a corner since Karl Anthony Towns got hurt. So obviously, as of how D'Angelo Russell's playing right now, I wouldn't want to trade him as a Timberwolves fan. But if you were to tell me, okay, if I'm Tim Conley and we sat down with D'Angelo Russell, and I believe we can extend him right now until his contract expires, and we haven't talked extension with him. And my thought process is right here: what if we approach him with an extension, and he comes back and he's like, "Look, I'm not going to resign with y'all," and he says, "I'm leaving." If you're aware that he's going to leave, did you make a trade? And let's go and look at the Miami Heat roster. Let me tell you exactly. D'Angelo Russell's making like $31 million, 31.3, okay, a year, and his contract expires after the season, but I believe you would be able to get his bird rights if you were trading for him. So Kyle Lowry's on 28.3 this season, and he has another deal. If you were to tell me Miami offers me Kyle Lowry for D'Angelo Russell, I'd obviously want to pick. I want to pick because I'm taking on Kyle Lowry's contract and I'm giving up D'Angelo Russell. Do you guys agree with that, Timberwolves fan? But to make the money work, they would have to include either, I believe it would have to be, you'd have to include Max Strus or Gabe Vincent to make the deal work. And if you're trading Kyle Lowry, I'd want you to include either Max Strus or Gabe Vincent, and a protected first is fine. I just want a protected first round pick, Kyle Lowry, and either Max Strus or Gabe Vincent in that deal. I'd probably take Max Strus because we already have a backup point guard and Jordan McLaughlin. Plus, we go out and sign in Austin. We have Austin Rivers and Jalen Noel. So give me Strus, Kyle Lowry, and a heavily protected first round pick. I'll give you D'Angelo Russell if we're aware that he's not coming back. That's the big if. Like, I need to know that Russell isn't coming back. And your thoughts are: is there any other I think it's interesting to see how this is all playing out, because the Timberwolves let D'Angelo Russell play out his final season with a 4-year maximum deal he signed in 2019. And D'Angelo Russell is extension eligible with the Timberwolves, but it doesn't seem like an extension is coming his way. And this information that I'm telling you that the Miami Heat have interest in is coming from Darren Wolfson, who is also the same guy who said about D'Angelo Russell like 2 months ago that Russell's representation had reached out to the Wolves about an extension, and it didn't seem like the thoughts were being reciprocated. And the deal that Russell's on is the deal that he signed back with the Brooklyn Nets as part of the sign and trade to go to the Golden State Warriors that sent Kevin Durant via sign and trade to Brooklyn, and Russell was then traded at the 2020 deadline to Minnesota in exchange for Andrew Wiggins. Because he's on an expiring contract, Russell is extension eligible through the end of the year. So on June 30th. So the last day D'Angelo Russell can sign an extension is June 30th. So the Timberwolves could keep him for the whole season, then sign an extension as soon as the season is over, or whatever team trades for him can sign him to an extension. So you're not getting a guy who's just going to expire. That's the big thing right here, is that, okay, if you do trade for him, it's not just going to be like, an expiring contract. No, like, you're actually going to get a player who's going to be participating. So that is something that's interesting, and we'll see how that all plays out. But that's definitely where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. If you guys are D'Angelo Russell fans, what do you think of this, and do you think it'll amount to anything? But it is interesting to see where we're at in the NBA season, just because, look, D'Angelo Russell is a fun guy. I've always been fun, and he's been starting to cook, okay? And it's pretty crazy to see just D'Angelo Russell just starting to cook. And shout out to the guys from Darren Wolfson. And they even talked, would the Wolves swap Lowry for D'Lo? And I don't know if that's because I just think D'Lo's just been playing really well the last few days. So I think that's just something that we got to consider, because if you're playing this well, why would you want to trade someone who's starting to pick up his pace. He had a rough start to the year, but now he's been playing well.